Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. What if I told you that the most powerful version of yourself is not the one who shares everything, but the one who protects the most sacred parts of their life in silence? What if the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable lies in the secrets you never reveal? Today, I'm going to expose the 7 truths you must keep to yourself if you want to rise above the noise, protect your peace, and command respect without ever asking for it. There are certain truths in life that are far too powerful to be given away carelessly. We live in a world where everyone feels entitled to know everything about you, your dreams, your struggles, your weaknesses, your plans. But here's the secret. Not everything about you should be placed on display. The most magnetic, powerful, and influential people you meet are not the ones who reveal everything. They are the ones who guard certain pieces of themselves with grace and discipline. Your silence in the right places is not emptiness, it's strategy. Your ability to protect what matters most will become the reason people respect you, envy you, and sometimes even fear you. The first secret you must always keep close is the depth of your pain. Everyone goes through storms, heartbreaks, betrayals, and losses, but not everyone deserves to know the details of yours. When you broadcast your pain to the world, you hand over the script of your story to people who may not even wish you well. Some will use it against you, others will underestimate you, and many will secretly celebrate your suffering. But when you hold your pain quietly, you rise with dignity. You transform wounds into wisdom. Let the world see your strength, not your scars. Let them wonder how you kept moving when life tried to break you. Pain that is protected becomes power. The second secret to keep within you is the true extent of your dreams and ambitions. Yes, you can share fragments with trusted people, but the grand vision, the wild, unapologetic, audacious dream you carry in your soul should be locked in your heart. Why? Because big dreams attract 2 kinds of energy, inspiration and envy. People who cannot imagine themselves achieving what you dare to dream will often poison you with doubt, disguised as concern. They will project their limitations onto your limitless spirit. And if you're not careful, their fears will begin to cloud your fire. So keep your dream sacred, water it in silence, build it when no one is watching, and then, when it's ready, let the world see the masterpiece, not the process. The third secret is your acts of kindness. In a time where people record every good deed to post it online, true kindness has become rare. But the real beauty of giving lies in keeping it hidden. When you help someone without announcing it, you create a sacred connection between your soul and the universe. Nobody needs to applaud your compassion. Nobody needs to clap for your generosity. The blessings that come back to you are not dependent on likes or views. They come because you acted from your heart without ego. Keep your kindness private because the purest form of goodness never needs an audience. The fourth secret is your weaknesses and insecurities. Everyone has them. Fears, flaws, doubts, moments of self-sabotage. But when you reveal them to the wrong people, you hand them the keys to control you. Some will manipulate those weaknesses to gain power over you, others will gossip, and a few will weaponize your honesty. So while it's important to be authentic, remember that authenticity doesn't mean exposure. It means being true to yourself, even if nobody else knows the details. Work on your weaknesses in silence. Strengthen yourself privately, so when you step into the world, you radiate confidence. People should see your light, not the shadows you're still working through. The fifth secret is the depth of your family struggles and personal relationships. Intimacy should remain intimate. Not every fight, not every challenge, not every tear needs to become a public conversation. Because once you open the door, opinions come flooding in, uninvited, unnecessary, and often toxic. What happens in your private circle should stay protected. When you keep these matters sacred, you preserve the dignity of your bonds. The people who truly love you deserve your loyalty, not your exposure. Protecting the privacy of your relationships doesn't mean you're hiding. It means you understand that sacred things lose their power when they're put on display for judgment. The sixth secret is your financial life. Whether you're struggling or thriving, money should never be anyone's business but yours. When people know too much about your finances, their behavior towards you changes. If you're doing well, jealousy creeps in. If you're struggling, pity or exploitation follows. Money amplifies judgment, and judgment distorts relationships. Keep your wealth or lack of it private. Build silently. Invest quietly. Grow without announcing. Let people assume, let them speculate, but never confirm. Financial privacy is one of the most powerful shields you can create for yourself in a world obsessed with measuring success by numbers. The seventh secret you must guard is your spiritual journey. Your connection to your faith, your rituals, your moments of meditation, your personal talks with the universe. These belong to you alone. No one can truly understand your path because it was designed only for you. When you share it too openly, you invite opinions, arguments, and criticisms about something that is deeply sacred and personal. Your faith doesn't need validation. Your practices don't need an audience. This is the source of your inner peace, your strength, your resiliency. Keep it safe. Guard it fiercely. It is the sanctuary that allows you to rise again and again, no matter how hard life tries to knock you down. You see, keeping secrets isn't about deception. It's about preservation. It's about knowing that not everything sacred needs to be shared. The most powerful energy you can carry is mystery. When people can't figure out your struggles, when they can't predict your next move, when they can't access your inner world, they are forced to respect you. They are forced to watch in awe as you rise from challenges without revealing your battle scars. They are forced to question, how does she do it? And that question is where your power lies. Think about it. Every time you speak, you give away a piece of yourself. Every time you reveal something deeply personal, you lessen the magic of your mystery. But when you hold back, when you protect your truth, you amplify your aura. People are drawn to what they don't fully understand. They are intrigued by what they cannot easily access. That is how legends are built. That is how greatness is preserved. In a world that thrives on oversharing, silence has become revolutionary. In a culture that rewards exposure, privacy has become luxury. And in a society where everyone is desperate to be understood, the real strength is in knowing that you don't need anyone's approval to validate your journey. The secrets you keep are not a sign of fear, they are a sign of wisdom. They remind you that not everything is meant for public consumption, not every story needs an audience, and not every truth needs to be spoken. The art of keeping these 7 things to yourself will not just protect you, it will elevate you. It will make you untouchable in ways the world cannot explain. It will separate you from the noise, the gossip, the judgment, and the chaos. Because true power does not come from being seen. Power comes from being felt. And you will always be felt more deeply when the world knows less about you than you know about yourself. When you choose to protect your energy by keeping certain truths hidden, you step into a higher level of self-mastery. You stop living for the validation of others and start living for the alignment of your soul. And that alignment is what makes you unshakable. People may try to guess who you are, they may try to label you, they may try to define you, but the truth is, they will never really know. Because what they see is only the reflection of what you allow them to see, while the real power is quietly growing inside you. The less you reveal, the more they wonder, and the more they wonder, the more you hold the upper hand in life. Think of it like this. The strongest trees are the ones with the deepest roots, hidden beneath the ground. You cannot see the roots, you cannot measure their strength, but they are the reason that tree stands tall through every storm. Your secrets are your roots. They are invisible, yet they hold your life together. And when the storm comes, it is not your public image that saves you. It is the hidden strength no one else can see. The world only admires the leaves, the branches, and the fruit. But what keeps you alive is buried in silence. And that silence is not weakness, it is elegance. It is choosing to rise above the noise. It is refusing to hand over the map of your soul to people who haven't earned the right to walk your path. Because let's be honest, not everyone clapping for you is rooting for you. Not everyone asking questions wants to understand understand you. Some want information so they can use it against you. Some want details so they can quietly compare themselves. Some want your story because they are looking for ways to make you smaller. But when you guard your inner world, you strip away their power. You leave them empty-handed, forced to build assumptions, forced to fill in the blanks, forced to deal with their curiosity without obeying. Were satisfying it. That is your silent victory. Guarding your secrets doesn't make you cold or distant. It makes you wise. It means you've learned that your value doesn't increase by being available to everyone. Your value increases by being rare. Think about diamonds. They are hidden deep within the earth, protected by layers of rock, untouched by careless hands. That is what makes them priceless. Now imagine if diamonds were lying in the streets, picked up by anyone who wanted them. They would lose their magic. In the same way, when you reveal too much, you make your life too accessible. But when you keep certain parts sacred, you turn your presence into a luxury. This is why people are fascinated by mystery. Mystery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates respect, and respect creates influence. You don't have to speak loudly to be noticed. Sometimes your silence, your restraint, your refusal to share everything is what makes people pay attention. The unknown about you becomes more magnetic than the known. Your secrets, when guarded, become your crown. There will be moments when you'll feel the temptation to share everything. When your excitement over your dream makes you want to announce it to the world. When your heartbreak makes you want to pour it out for sympathy. When your success makes you want to broadcast it so everyone claps. But pause. Ask yourself, who gains from this? Do you gain or do they gain? Because more often than not, once you give it away, you lose control of it. People twist your words, they dilute your vision, they pollute your energy with their opinions. But if you hold it within, you stay in control. You keep your flame burning without the winds of outside judgment trying to blow it out. Protecting these secrets is also about protecting your peace. You've noticed it before. When you overshare, you start to feel exposed, even vulnerable. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering, did I say too much? That anxiety is your intuition reminding you that some things are not meant to be spoken. But when you hold back, when you keep your treasures to yourself, there is a calm strength in knowing no one has access to what keeps you alive. That peace is priceless. It cannot be bought, it cannot be borrowed. It can only be created by you choosing silence. Another thing about keeping secrets is this. It sharpens your self-respect. When you refuse to reveal everything, you teach yourself that your life is not a public stage. You begin to recognize that your experiences, your visions, your truths are precious, not entertainment for others. And once you see yourself as precious, others will have no choice but to treat you the same. You set the standard for how people engage with you. If you give everything away, they take you for granted. But if you remain selective, they learn to treasure the little pieces of you they are allowed to see. It also makes your victories more powerful. Imagine quietly working, keeping your head down, building something in silence while the world assumes nothing is happening. Then one day, you rise with a success so undeniable that it shocks everyone. That moment of revelation is far greater than months of talking about your plans. Silence multiplies impact. When people least expect it, your actions announce themselves louder than words ever could. There's also a deep sense of freedom in not being understood fully. We live in a society obsessed with exposure, where people feel pressured to constantly explain themselves. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your full story. You don't owe anyone your unfiltered truth. You're allowed to keep parts of yourself hidden, sacred, untouched. That freedom of not needing to be understood protects your energy from being drained by explanations. Let people misunderstand you. Let them assume. Let them wonder. You are not here to satisfy their curiosity. You are here to live your purpose. And the more you practice whole azyads, ding back, the stronger your intuition becomes. You start recognizing who is safe and who is not. You start noticing who asks out of love and who asks out of nosiness. You start seeing how some people's eyes light up not with happiness for you, but with envy. And that awareness helps you protect yourself even more. Because not everyone around you is your friend. Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to win. That is why your ability to keep secrets is not just wisdom, it's survival. Think of the most magnetic people you admire. Are they the ones who share everything, or are they the ones who carry an air of mystery, the ones you can never quite figure out? The truth is, the most unforgettable people are the ones who leave you guessing. They reveal just enough to inspire you, but never so much that you feel you completely know them. And that is exactly why they stay unforgettable. You have that same power within you. To be remembered not because you spoke the loudest, but because you guarded the deepest. You have to understand that your energy is currency. Every detail you share, every secret you reveal is a withdrawal. And if you give too much away, you bankrupt yourself. But when you choose wisely what to share and what to guard, you build wealth in your spirit. You conserve energy, you grow stronger, you keep your inner fire alive. And when you finally choose to share pieces of yourself, they carry weight. Because people know you do not give easily, they value what you give. The beauty of life is that some things are meant only for you. The world does not deserve access to every corner of your soul. Your pain, your dreams, your kindness, your weaknesses, your private relationships, your financial life, your spiritual connection, these are treasures. Protect them, honor them, because when you do, you create a life that is not only powerful but also untouchable. Yelai. Or become the kind of person people cannot predict, cannot control, and cannot diminish. You become the storm they cannot prepare for, the light they cannot dim, the mystery they cannot solve. And what's truly remarkable is how this discipline of silence begins to reshape the way you see yourself. When you stop constantly pouring your heart out into places that don't deserve it, you suddenly feel lighter. You realize how much unnecessary weight you had been carrying simply by letting too many people into your world. The constant need to explain, to justify, to be understood, it fades. And in its place, a quiet confidence begins to grow. You start to recognize that your validation doesn't come from being seen or approved of. It comes from knowing that you are whole even when no one else knows your story. It is in those private moments when you hold your truth close that you learn the art of self-containment. And that is where true power lies. When your joy doesn't need to be broadcasted, when your struggles don't need to be pitied, when your plans don't need to be approved, that's when you know you've arrived at a higher level of strength. The world around you may still chase likes, applause, and recognition, but you'll be anchored in something deeper, the unshakable peace that comes from not needing any of it. This doesn't mean you become secretive in a way that pushes everyone away. It means you become discerning. You stop pouring water on soil that doesn't grow. You stop giving keys to doors that were never meant to be opened. You become selective, not because you are cold, but because you are wise. You realize that your energy is sacred, your story is sacred, and not everyone has earned the right to hear it. That selectiveness becomes your filter, your shield, and your strength. When you live this way, you'll notice something powerful. People will begin to treat you differently. They will lean in a little more when you speak because your words carry weight. They will respect your presence because it's not diluted by constant exposure. They will sense a strength in you that doesn't come from volume but from depth. And depth is magnetic. Depth pulls people in without you having to try. But here's the challenge. You will face moments where others will pressure you to reveal yourself. They will demand answers, explanations, confessions. They will tell you that honesty means telling everything, that transparency means exposure. But understand this clearly. Honesty does not mean you owe anyone every detail of your life. Transparency does not mean stripping yourself bare for the world. True honesty is living in alignment with your values, not in disclosure of your vulnerabilities. True transparency is being clear about who you are without giving away the most intimate layers of your soul. You can be genuine without being exposed. You can be authentic without being unguarded. And that ability to draw the line, to know where your truth ends and the world begins, is what keeps you powerful. People often confuse access with intimacy, but they are not the same. Just because someone has access to you doesn't mean they know you. Just because you spend time with someone doesn't mean they deserve your secrets. Intimacy is not about proximity, it's about trust, and trust must be earned, not demanded. As you guard these 7 sacred things, you'll notice that your energy begins to shift. You will no longer feel drained by the weight of sharing too much. Instead, you'll feel fueled by the strength of holding yourself together. You'll start waking up with a sharper sense of purpose. Because your energy is not scattered everywhere, you'll feel more present, more focused, more grounded. Silence has a way of pulling your power back to you, and when that power returns, you stand taller, stronger, and brighter. And the truth is, not everyone deserves the privilege of knowing your depths. Some people are only meant to witness your surface, some are only meant to know fragments, and only a rare few are meant to be invited into your inner circle. The danger is when you hand out front row seats to people who should never even be in the theater of your life. That is how betrayal happens, how disappointment grows, how heartbreak multiplies. But when you learn to guard your story, you stop giving the wrong people the power to hurt you. Another beautiful thing about keeping these secrets is that it keeps your spirit young. When you share too much too often, you age your soul with the heaviness of outside judgment. Every opinion becomes a burden, every criticism a scar, every doubt a weight. But when you protect your truths, you preserve your essence. You give yourself the freedom to grow without the constant interference of noise. You allow your spirit to dance without the eyes of the world measuring its steps. That freedom keeps you alive in ways oversharing never can. And think about the way the universe works. Some of the most profound processes happen in silence. A seed doesn't shout while it's breaking through the soil. A star doesn't announce itself while it's forming in the galaxy. The tide doesn't need approval while it shifts under the moon. Power doesn't beg to be noticed. It simply exists, and its presence is undeniable. You are no different. Your transformation doesn't need an audience. Your healing doesn't need applause. Your journey doesn't need validation. All it needs is your commitment to keep moving quietly until the results speak for themselves. This is why the practice of guarding your secrets is not just about survival, it's about evolution. You evolve into someone who doesn't just live but thrives because you've built a fortress around the parts of yourself that matter most. You've created boundaries that protect your peace, your purpose, and your power. And in doing so, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of proving, explaining, and defending. You become untouchable, not because it won't test you, but because no one outside of you will ever hold the keys to your inner world again. And once you taste this kind of strength, you will never go back. You will never again hand your secrets to those who don't value them. You will never again feel the urge to overshare for the sake of validation. You will never again allow the noise of the world to drown out the voice of your soul, because you will know that the silence you keep is not empty, it is full of wisdom, full of clarity, full of power, and that fullness is what will carry you through every storm, every doubt, and every moment of uncertainty with grace. And what's extraordinary is how this commitment to holding certain parts of yourself in sacred silence begins to shape the way others see you. Suddenly, you're not just another voice in the crowd, not just another story told too quickly and forgotten even faster. You become someone unforgettable, someone who lingers in people's minds because they can't quite put all the pieces together. And that is a kind of power very few ever learn to master. When they can't define you, they can't confine you. When they can't predict you, they can't control you. Your mystery becomes your protection, and your restraint becomes your strength. This doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It doesn't mean you close every door and push the world away. What it means is that you learn the art of balance. You learn that some parts of your life are meant to shine in the light, and others are meant to grow in the dark. The seed cannot sprout if it's constantly exposed. It needs time underground, hidden, nurtured in silence. Your dreams, your healing, your spiritual journey, they all require that same sacred space away from eyes that don't understand. Not everything is meant to be displayed before it's ready. Some things must be allowed to bloom unseen until the mom, and they are strong enough to face the world. When you live this way, you'll notice how much lighter life becomes. The burden of explanation disappears. The heaviness of other people's judgment no longer sits on your shoulders. You don't have to keep replaying conversations in your head, regretting how much you revealed. You don't have to shrink yourself because someone used your vulnerability against you. You live with the freedom that only comes when you realize that your truth is yours alone and not everyone deserves a seat at your table. That freedom is intoxicating. It gives you clarity. It gives you focus. It gives you back all the energy you once wasted trying to be understood. And you'll begin to see how others react. Those who thrive on gossip will find nothing to feed on when it comes to you. Those who secretly envy you will be left frustrated because they cannot measure your journey. Those who are curious will stay curious, and in that curiosity, they will give you their respect. Because the truth is, people may laugh at what they fully know, but they will always respect what they cannot fully grasp. Your silence makes them cautious. Your mystery makes them careful. And without you lifting a finger, you command a presence that cannot be ignored. The deeper beauty of keeping your sacred truths to yourself is that it creates an intimacy between you and your own soul. When you are not constantly pouring yourself out to others, you create space to listen inward. You hear your own voice more clearly. You feel your own intuition guiding you more strongly. And that inner relationship becomes unshakable. You no longer seek validation from the outside because you are anchored within. You no longer need reassurance from the world because you have already reassured yourself. That inner bond is what carries you when the world turns cold, when people disappoint you, when life tests you. It is the bond no one can take away from you because no one else even knows it exists. There will always be those who misunderstand. This silence. They may call it secrecy, they may call it arrogance, they may call it distance. Let them. Their misunderstanding is not your responsibility. The truth is, people are uncomfortable with what they cannot control. And when you refuse to hand them the keys to your inner world, they will label you in ways that make them feel better about their lack of access. But that should never make you doubt your path. The very fact that they cannot understand you is proof that you are walking a different road. And different roads are never meant to be explained. They are meant to be walked. This way of living also teaches you patience. When you stop broadcasting your every move, you learn the beauty of waiting in silence. You learn how to nurture something quietly until it's strong enough to reveal itself. You learn that not every victory needs to be announced and not every setback needs to be shared. Some things are best left in the private chambers of your own growth. And when you reveal only at the right time, the impact is far greater. It's the difference between fireworks that burn for a moment and a sunrise that changes the entire sky. Silence gives you the sunrise. And with that patience comes resilience. Because when the world doesn't know the details of your struggles, they cannot use them to weaken you. When they don't know your fears, they cannot manipulate them. When they don't know your plans, they cannot sabotage them. You become untouchable, not because life won't test you, but because people cannot access the very things that could have broken you. Your resilience grows in the shadows, and when you step into the light, all they see is strength. They never saw the battles, only the victory, and that is how legends are built. The most magnetic individuals in history were never those who revealed everything. They were the ones who carried a sense of mystery, who walked into a room with an aura that said more than words ever could. They left people guessing, left people intrigued, left people inspired. And that's what you create when you choose silence, where others would overshare. You create presence, you create impact, you create a legacy not through exposure, but through essence. And as you continue to walk this path, you'll discover that silence is not emptiness, it is abundance. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is not loneliness, it is intimacy with yourself and with the universe. In silence, you hear the whispers of your destiny more clearly. In silence, you align with your deepest purpose. In silence, you find the kind of strength that noise will never give you. And that is why these 7 secrets must remain yours alone. They are not burdens to carry. They are treasures to protect. They are not walls to isolate you. They are shields to guard you. They are not limitations. They are sources of liberation. Because once you understand the sacredness of keeping them close, you'll realize that your silence is not about hiding. It's about rising. It's about walking into the world, carrying a power no one else can touch, a light no one else can dim, and a story no one else can rewrite.